I've got my Kamishibai Theatre for you. What is Kamishibai Theatre? Well, Kamishibai Theatre comes from Japan. That's a country in the East. And it comes from quite a long time ago when a lot of people unfortunately lost their jobs, and so they had to find a way to make some money. And so what they did was they created these little wooden theatres. You can see there's a side on both of them. There's another side here. And they created pictures that went behind, and they'd strap them to a bicycle, and they'd go out with these little theatres and they'd tell stories. And on the bicycles were sweets that they would sell to the children who would sit round and listen to the stories. Now, I can't promise you sweets today. I'm sorry, I can't do that via the internet. But I can tell you a story. And I'm going to tell you one of my dragon stories, which is called Malachi the Timid. A long time ago, in a land where there were no people, no humans, no knights to fight dragons, just dragons. And dragons, they lived very peacefully with all of the other animals. And there was this dragon down here called Malachi. Now, you're wondering what this is here, aren't you? Well, the dragons had managed to build it, and it's called a thunder shop. What on earth would they want a thunder shop for? Well, dragons, it's a little known fact, need thunder for their roars. They need the roar to make them feel brave and to make sure that they keep people away from them that might hurt them, or other animals that might hurt them. Just like a lion roars. And dragons needed that too. And so there was one dragon in each tribe of dragons called a thunder catcher. And he'd go out each day and he would collect the thunder from the thunderstorm clouds. And he'd bring it back in a bag, and then he would sell it at the thunder shop. Little Malachi was a very timid little dragon. That means he was very shy, and things would frighten him, even mice. And we all know that dragons and mice are actually friends. But he was quite shy, like I say. So he would wait each day to get thunder from the shop, and he would admire Conrad, who was the tribe's thunder catcher. He would admire his mighty wings and his green legs and his scaly skin. For Conrad was a wyvern. That's what kind of dragon he was. Now, one day, Conrad had gone out to collect thunder. He'd gone out across the mountains and all the way to where there was a huge storm brewing here. A thunder shaking. And there was rain. Lots of rain. It was not really a day to be out flying around, but Conrad, like I say, was a big, brave dragon, and he was the thunder catcher in that tribe, and he was going to catch that thunder. And so off he went. He was gone for a very long time, as you might imagine. And whilst he was gone, a queue started to form outside the thunder shop. Pink dragons, green dragons, blue dragons, purple dragons, orange dragons, yellow dragons, all the colours under the sun dragons. And there were knobbly bobbly ones, stripy ones, spotty ones. Let me see, what other ones are the ones breathing fire? There were some with wings, some without wings, some with claws, some with long spiky tails. There was all sorts of different dragons waiting for their thunder so that they could roar once more. As you can see, the thunder shop was closed because Conrad had not come back yet. Where was he? And they all started to chatter amongst themselves. Where has Conrad gone? Somebody really should go and see if they can find him. It's just such a terrible shame. Where has he gone? He must be back by now. And the front dragon here, he said to this dragon, I think you ought to go and find him. And this dragon said, no, I think you ought to go and find him, to the three-headed dragon. And then he said, no, I think you ought to go and find him. And so it went back along the trail until it reached right at the back here, Malachi the Timid. And Malachi looked out across the hills and he saw those dark thunder and lightning clouds, and he thought, I can't do that. I can't go out into the mountains. I can't be as brave as Conrad, surely. And all the other dragons looked at him and he said, you will have to go and find him. You're the one that's closest to the mountains. Well, so it was. That little Malachi went up and across the mountains. Off he went to see if he could find Conrad. As he was flying over the mountains, he looked down to see if he could find Conrad. He could hear him roaring and shouting to him, but he couldn't see where he was. And then, there he saw Conrad lying. And his wing was very twisted, like it had broken it. And he went down to see Conrad. He said, Conrad, are you okay? And Conrad said, no, I think I've broken my wing and I cannot fly back. And now I can't get all the thunder back and the storm is getting worse. And just then, crash, lightning hit the tree. And a branch fell down, narrowly missing both the dragons. But it was with this that Malachi had a plan. He took the branch that had fallen and he took some of the brambles that were around in the bushes and he strapped it to Conrad's wing. And they managed to fly just far enough out of the mountains so that Conrad was out of danger and out of the storm. Malachi's braveness had saved Conrad, and now they were able to walk home, for there was only so far Conrad could fly with that splint on his wing. And so they started to walk back to the thunder shop, although dragons, it takes them a very long time to walk, so it did actually take him most of the day to get back to the thunder shop. But when he did, the other dragons, they were so pleased and they were able to get their thunder for their roars. And of course they fussed around Conrad and made sure he was okay and let him rest his wing until he was better and well enough again to go out and collect more thunder. And what's more, because Malachi had proven himself so brave, he now didn't have a fear of thunder or lightning or even fire. In fact, he was able to help Conrad in the thunder shop here, dispensing thunder to all the dragons. And they all lived very happily. Malachi was very pleased that he had been brave enough to go and find Conrad and help his dragon friends. I hope you enjoyed that story. That's one of my original dragon stories from my little book of Tales of Dragons. So that you can recreate your own story of little timid Malachi and big brave Conrad. Of course, he is now brave Malachi too, isn't he? I have put some activities for you at the bottom here and you can download them. Have fun doing those and I'll see you next month. Toodle pip!